Hello. I wanted to spend some time going over the information that I just put on Google Classroom for you to help you with this rough draft writing of your essay, just to refresh your memory of a few things and also just have that information for you. Um, on Google Classroom, if you look on Google Classroom, um, I added two things. So the first thing, um, well, this was the first. This was technically the first thing, I guess. Um, the new material that I posted. I have included essay structure overview and integrating quotations PowerPoint. Um, let's look at the essay structure first. And again, this is just a refresher of things that we've talked about many times. Um, if it will load, la 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 la. So I will zoom in so that you can see this a bit better. Or we can present it once it loads. View. Zoom. Okay, there we go. So this is a refresher of everything that we've talked about in the past with writing an essay. But again, this is just to um, refresh your memory. So I wrote it out to have 4 sentences because since there are a lot of ideas that are in your prompts, these are a little bit more lengthy and a little bit more complex of ideas. So you'll probably need about 4 sentences minimum to accomplish a solid introduction and conclusion. So again, universal theme or general information that relates to the topic of the writing prompt. So if you are doing again your topic, if you chose to do the one about death, you would begin with the general theme statements about death or people and death or ideas of death, or it could even be in that one about um, things that change, about that there's many things that influence a person's outlook. Um, and then you can specifically go into the character death. Same thing with like the morality versus society's conventions. Okay, that's the whole general topic. So you want to find some general information. Again, you can do like a factor statistic if you want. If you want to find something like that, like um, if you find any surveys or studies done on morality or society's pressures or peer pressure or anything like that. So that's what you're doing for those um, to introduce that big idea into our minds, stuff that the reader has already been familiar with, or just to ease us in without slamming us right away with the details of the book thief. So then, once you set that up, a general overview of the idea of morality or the idea um, of like living in denial of or like creating a false reality, then you are connecting that to specifically things that are in the writing prompt. So this is where it's kind of a little bit more of a detail than what we have otherwise done. So if you're doing the one again about, a lot of you are doing the morality one, so I'm just going to kind of focus on that. So if you're doing the one about morality versus social pressures or societal standards, so then you're going to come back to that. Okay, so in here, you generally introduced us to the idea of morality and society. Now you are going to connect us to the ideas and thoughts specifically related to what's in the writing prompt. So if we look back, oh no, it's over here. If we look back here, so then it's like, okay, well, what are the ideas about morality and society that are in here? So then you're going to be um, talking about how there is a conflict, right? Or about conforming. Um, so then you're connecting to that idea, or you're talking about people's struggles or how their morality will affect them in conflict. Okay, and this is just general about how it exists. Okay, that's your second sentence. Um, then That's where you will connect that to the specific text that we have. So in this case, the book thief. So since we have the book thief, then you'll say Marcus Zusak, again, specific titles, specific authors. Marcus Zusak wrote about um, characters facing morality versus society, um, and showed blah, 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 blah. Again, this is the general theme. Then in your thesis, that's when you're narrowing to your specific ideas, okay, your specific connection. So then that's when you will say, two characters that exemplify this the best are whoever with their conflict of whatever, and this character with their conflict of whatever. Or it's two of the best characters that show a conflict. So that's where you are getting specific in your overview of which characters you're going to be talking about. And that one kind of works also with the reality prompt, creating a false sense of reality. You can That's where you would do that too. Like these two characters show how to create a false sense of reality, or and then this otherwise we'd be um, these three instances affected death because of blah 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 blah, or the main instances that affected death in as a character were whatever whatever. So that's your specifics. Then again, examples, text evidence, examples, text evidence, examples, text evidence. Okay, be specific, specific, specific. Okay, and then again, conclusion is a mirror. Okay, so you're gonna restate your thesis, revisit the idea of those two characters or those three events, revisit the idea of um, how the author, how Marcus Zusak in the book Thief was doing stuff with that theme. Again, you're backing out, revisiting the keywords and the key ideas that you did in the beginning. So just a review of that. And then the other piece of information is the integrating quotes PowerPoint, which we have done in class a couple times. I think there's a way for you to download this, but again, this is showing, um, the good examples are green, and then if you're doing it poorly, then that's the red. And again, the different options, incorporating it or like blending it into your own writing. Um, Again, like this, but then again, just like the side notes of when to bracket things, um, if you have to change those things, speech tags, um, and again, it shows you how not to do the speech tags. So take some time to go through this again. Hopefully, it'll kind of refresh your memory. Um, but again, it's got all that information in it. So this is just kind of for you to use. Focus on the green things, and again, if you're looking at when to use a colon, when to use a comma. Okay, you've got all of that information in here to revisit. So hopefully with all of these things available to you, then you can get a good start on your rough draft. I will be putting you in partners on, I guess, Tuesday or earlier than that. That way, if you get it done, then you can trade with your person. And then that way, too, you are having to do it for somebody else to be held accountable to somebody else besides just me and yourself. Um, so I think that's it as far as the overview. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me or again, sign up for the focus time. Even if it just says freshman, that's totally fine because I usually don't get any freshmen in there anyway. So I again hope you have a good day of work and a good weekend. And again, reach out if you have any questions.